All right. Good morning and good afternoon and good evening, wherever you're joining us from. It is your man, Reverend Charles Hall. Good morning, Center for Spiritual Palm Desert, Center for Spiritual Living Palm Desert, and friends all over the world. So grateful to be back with you again. It's 10 o'clock. We started doing the jazz hands thing and haven't done that much lately, but we know 10 o'clock every day, something good is going to happen. And it's happening again today. Good morning. I'm so grateful once again to be back with you. It's my daughter's third day of virtual school. Jeff, are you there? Are you Ed? Are you there?
Yes,
Ed?
sir. Yes, sir. Ed is here.
There he is. Okay, there's Ed. Does school normally start in August down here, or is this a makeup for the COVID situation?
No, it does. It does start. It does start this time of year, typically, and yeah, that's maybe this is a little early, but it typically starts in that second or third week of August.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm used to starting in first part of September. That's how it was back in Seattle, and then we go through toward the middle end of June.
Well, that's kind of normal. When I was growing up as a kid too, we started right after Labor Day, and then we got out at the end of May, and but let's face it, the kids have been off a long time. And they getting back in school and having a little interaction with other kids, maybe not such a bad idea.
It's a great thing. It's a wonderful thing for the parents. It'll be a wonderful thing when they can actually go to the building and be able to. But anyway, so yeah, I've been dealing with some technical stuff with getting her on this morning. It's so great to have the family here, and it's good, man. So you've already had a busy morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm shaved and I've cleaned up and been in town already and done a couple of shows, and here we are.
Yep. You look fresh. You do look good. That's for sure. Isn't Jeff a good looking man? Let's get
Thank you.
Round of applause just for being a good looking guy.
Hey, I appreciate that.
What's that?
I was just going to say, we got a lot of people coming on. I'm seeing a lot of people join us on the website, and just, hey, welcome to the center's daily show. And this is Life on Love, and with Reverend Charles Hall, our new associate minister. So just kind of a little plug there to get us started.
Love it. Life on Love. And and one thing I love and really appreciate is Jeff stepping in, and just I like our banter, my friend. Just kind of chewing the fat a little bit, right? Just teeing things up, easing into the show, and welcome everybody. It's so great to, I hope, Jeff, that we're gonna, I say it, every day when we get going, good morning, Center for Spiritual Living Palm Desert, and friends all over the world. I'm committed and interested in us, continuing to grow our community, our one family. I can't wait for the day when we find out that we do have a couple people listening from Australia or the Philippines or Moscow or whatever it might be. That that we just keep building our family here, with the hub being, of course, Center for here in Palm Desert, but the hub is actually wherever the heart is. So we can have that. We can just encompass the entire world. Yeah.
Well, I'll just share something. When we'd be open and doing Sunday live streaming, it was not uncommon. We had folks from South America and Peru and Argentina, and they would say things like, hey, we're here from Argentina, and we've actually learned to speak English through the center's Sunday live streaming. So it'd be interesting.
Right?
Everybody who is on today, do me a favor, just for giggles here and finding out where everybody is. Just in the chat on the website, if you're watching or you're on YouTube, just put in there where you're from. It'd just be interesting to see where people are watching from, because the cool thing about what we're doing, and we had a conversation offline about this a couple of days ago, is it's no longer just the people who live here in the Coachella Valley, but it's the message that resonates. It's like energy. It gets everywhere, right?
That's right. Energy gets everywhere. Absolutely. And, I know that my fundamental charge is to tend to and care for our local community here. And I will never forsake that fundamental responsibility that I have. And I love it. I hope people do comment, and where are you listening from, because we want to continue to, like you mentioned all the time, I've heard it for years too, and I'm sick and tired of it. We don't want to be a best kept secret. We don't want to be a secret at all. We just want to be doing our thing. Life on love, baby. Life on love.
Yeah, well, here we go. We got some people. Calm specimen from Indio, intelligent earthling. I love that one, and I love calm specimen as well. Sun City Palm Desert. So thanks for joining us. There's a lot of folks on there. Please chime in and let us know where you're from. We really appreciate. I don't care if it's redundant. If it says, if we have 15 people from Sun City, we just like to know where you're at.
That's right.
Because a lot of times when we're talking like this, Reverend Charles, and we do a lot of these for our businesses, we kind of like to know where you're at because we can associate with that. And we learn from you as well. Hey, what's going on where you're at? And I think about this whole process of you are saying this is your third day of virtual school. And I have to be honest, as somebody who just has 2 cats, that just doesn't even enter into my consciousness. I can't even imagine what that's like, is all of a sudden now you have a schoolroom in your home and it's virtual. What's that like?
It's well, I could pick up my camera and take you over there. Why not?
Let's do it. Let's get a virtual tour. Here we go.
Milagro Hall's desk is set up. Here we go. She might not like me for doing this because she's a very private person, but can we see that right there?
Oh yeah, there she is. Everybody give her a wave.
There's her desk. There we go.
She's working. Look at her.
Oh yeah, she's
dialed in.
Getting her hydration going, and also and doing her classroom. So we've got her desk set up over there, and her teacher, which I love, is Senor Cruz. She's got a 2nd grade male teacher, which is very rare. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're very.
If you miss this, if you miss this and you're just joining us, we're saying, hey, put in the chat room, in the chat, where you're from, where you're watching from, what city. Or state, whatever you like. And we're just curious, hey, where you're from. It would be interesting to talk about that. Because I know that, I moved to the Coachella Valley. I was in Canada at the time. I'm not Canadian, but I was playing on the Canadian Golf Tour at the time. And that's how I got here in the desert. And Reverend Charles, you're from?
Seattle.
So, everybody's from somewhere. And it's interesting to find out where you're at.
Yeah, absolutely. What's on your front burner, Jeff? What's I know you sent out a wonderful email yesterday about being proactive, and being a self-starter, and that story really resonated so much that you wanted to share it with a bunch of people. I'm guessing you shared it with a large swath of people. What's that was just one thing, but what's on your front burner right now? What's inspiring you to get out of bed and do your thing?
Yeah, I think the thing right now that's probably driving me the most, and it starts with the center. That's our first love, is taking care of the center, but it's really helping as many local businesses as possible. And so we've decided, as Swing Point Media, we are going to start creating more activity here locally for our businesses. So it's an opportunity for them to step in. Let's face it, there are some that are doing really, really well, and there are some that are not doing so well. And we want to prop those people up and say, let's give you a voice and let people know you're still out there and you're in there grinding every day, and just create a platform where you can come in and talk, and not set it up where, hey, when you show up, you have to pay me, but it's just an opportunity to find out, hey, you have a hair salon, or you got a local tire store, or whatever. What are you doing? How can we support you? And really right now, that's me. And I just want to give back. That's kind of what's driving me right now.
That's great. Love that. Swing Point Media, Jeff Harrison, making a big difference in the community, our local community. You work with a lot of local businesses and do inspire them. I would imagine it's not just the film, the actual end product, but the conversations you have with business owners, right? To actually inspire them to, in these times, take their game to another level as well, to find ways to be financially solvent, things like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, you're right on target, but it's no different. I shouldn't say this. I'm not going to put myself at the same level, but when I have the opportunity to film you, and I'm blessed to be able to do that, or Dr. Joe or Dr. Laura, your messages inspire me. And you know what? I'll have those same type of conversations with a business owner and help them see things that they didn't know existed, and change a mindset of, doing something like, as an example, with Jimmy John's this morning, we were doing a live filming there, and 2 months ago, he didn't even know that opportunity even existed. And now it's like, hey, we go in there, we put a show on and get some people to get involved and help his business, and then I'm out of there. And
love it.
So that's kind of fun. So yeah, we have those same kind of conversations. So and for me, technology is changing Oh, it just changed. I just noticed it just changed. Technology is changing that quickly. is we have to stay fresh all the time. So if we put ourselves into, hey, we've always done it this way, it's too late. We've already missed the boat.
Yeah. Yep. That's it. We just got to, and to that point, to your email, you got to be proactive,
Yeah.
be out there doing something, right? Not, and I think I spoke to this a few weeks ago too, not let, life come to you, but you bring yourself to life as well with your intention, your commitments, things like that. And we're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
That's Ed. That's Ed. Jeff, what's that?
Hey, there's another neat comment here. If you don't mind, if I just read it aloud.
Go for it.
It's a Popular Mind says, I live in Palm Desert, attend the center and consider it my lifeline. Thank you I should, here's the guy, right?
We're doing
dealing,
it. It's team. There's no I in team. You said that.
That's true. So it says, and again, now this is where our heart goes out. Dealing with the recent death of my grandson is a little easier because I know, in caps, I'm covered in prayer. Thank you. So, boy.
Yeah.
Just a moment of silence there. Thank you for being here, and know that you're in our mind, in our consciousness, and we're sorry for your loss. And Reverend Charles, anything else there?
Well, just that I think I know who put that comment in, and I just want you to know that I think I do. If you want to state your name for everybody, if it's up to you, if you want to keep anonymity, that's fine. But I want you to know that our entire community is holding your heart. We're really with you, and that's a tragic and sudden loss, and we're loving you. And I know, especially right now, it's when we can feel isolated, how challenging that can be. So our love is with you. I want you to know that. And as we talk about, our physical building is closed, but our community is strong. And I pray that you feel the strength of our community and are utilizing the resources that we have in order to feel connected and loved on and nurtured and all those types of things. So thank you for having the courage to share that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's challenge. It's difficult. Very much so.
Hey, in case anybody is wondering, I'm sorry, this is maybe a hard right turn and
Yep.
not meant as any disrespect, but in case somebody's asking or wondering, hey, how come I have those yellow things up behind me? It's just, it's very high level classified information I can't share with anybody.
Yeah.
And no, I'm just kidding. It's just
something plus something equals something.
That's it. I do a game show later on. And so that's how, yeah. Hey, whoa, wait a second. That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's it.
Virtual game shows. We can play Pictionary. All right. So
speaking of game shows, I think we have a special mystery guest today.
I see there. I'm going to bail out. I'm going to go back to doing my job on the couch and making sure I get my donuts and everything going. And you guys have a great time.
Thank you, Ed. We love you. That's Jeff Harrison. Who just came into the neighborhood? Who is that? Let's see his face. Is that my second dad?
Yeah, it is, son.
That's Chuck File.
Good morning.
There he is. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is Chuck File. Pfeil. That's German, right?
It's German.
It's German.
Yep. Good morning, CSL Palm Desert. Morning, Jeff.
Hey, thanks for being here, man.
Okay.
So this guy. I love this guy. He's my family. I love him. My father passed away 18 years ago in October. And I met Chuck. How long have we known each other? 25,
30 years.
30
Yeah.
years. 30 years.
Well, you were around 18
What's
when
that? So a little less than that then, yeah. Chuck, we actually had a conversation about you adopting me at one point. We didn't formalize it, but do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We never formalized it, but so anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is my second dad. He especially from a man's perspective, and I grew up around a lot of women, strong women. And you met my mom last week. I can always turn to Chuck for, it's important whether you're a man or a woman, gay, straight, like there's certain people we resonate with that can give us, that we really, really trust with our entire life. And Chuck's one of those guys. And I've always been able to turn to you for anything, really. I mean, anything. And you've always, even when I was a young, late teen, early 20, young punk knucklehead, you were always there just because you loved me. So anyway, I'm very, very grateful to introduce you to my community, and can't wait to get you down here to actually, meet people when the time is right. Just give us a little bit of who are you? You worked for the state of Washington for a long time. Heather and Sarah, your daughters. What do you give us? I'm your only son. You got two girls and a boy to kind of balance things out a little bit. But just tell us a little bit of history about you. What would you want our community to know about you and who you are?
Well, grew up in Washington and have lived here my entire life, except a short stint in Colorado, and went to University of Washington, and have lived now for the last 35 years in Olympia, Washington, the state capital.
Yep.
Have my wife, Kathy, and I, we've been married 47 years. We've been together for 50 years now, come September. And we have two daughters, Sarah and Heather, and 4 grandchildren.
Yep.
That we're very grateful that they're here in Olympia with us, and we're very active with them. In fact, that's a lot of my activities right now. I helped them a lot this spring with school. We're having discussions this week about how we're going to be able to support them this fall as school starts up again. And
Yep.
I just did a project in the garage for our 10-year-old granddaughter. Built her an art cart. She's an artist and wants a little cart that she can wheel around. And
Cool.
our 13-year-old grandson is going to be spending next week with us, and a project I have for him is we're going to build a potato gun. So we're going to go to the hardware store and we're going to buy the pipe, and we're going to fit it out to where we can pump it up with a bicycle pump and shoot potatoes and terrorize the neighborhood. And
I tell you what, if
my
you do that,
4-year-old grandson, we're going fishing later this morning. I was out digging worms this morning, so we can go out to Ward Lake and go fishing. So real active with the grandkids. I came out of college, went to the university, worked at Nordstrom for 5 years in the financial division, and then joined the Washington State Auditor's Office and was there for 37 years, auditing governments, doing financial audits, legal compliance audits, performance audits, where we looked at really questioned what they should be doing in any given program. And then we did probably about 50 times a year, we did fraud investigations. And I spent a number of years as a director of audit for them. And so I was traveling all over the state.
Yep.
Have done a lot of spiritual work. I've been involved with Tacoma Science of Mind, Olympia, CSL Olympia, Genesis Spiritual, and Genesis Global Spiritual Center. We had our own little center where we did men's groups and metaphysical study group for 7 years, fire walks, sweats, festivals around the calendar.
I wanted to get the farm, right? So
the farm.
Yeah, we talk. Yeah, so talk a little bit more about the farm. So you had, what was it? Maybe 4 acres?
4 acres.
4 acres.
4 acres, goats and llamas and horses and ducks and chickens, and I swear they were all female. I don't know how that works, but yeah, we had quite the menagerie. We had just about every type of animal you can imagine, and
Yep.
And it was open. I mean, we did May Day festivals. We did various festivals around the year. We did summer solstice, equinox celebrations. We did the sweats. We did about 30 firewalks. A dear friend, Reed, and I led about 30 firewalks, and then had some really powerful men's groups, and those are still going. A couple of them are still going today. So
the ones that you started, they're still going?
Yeah. The one that Reed and I started in our barn is no longer going, but the talk and drumming circle still meets and is very active.
Love it. And that's the farm is spelled PFARM, just so you know. Okay.
Well, of course.
Well, of course. I just want to make sure people know. And by the way, if you, I want to remind everybody, questions, comments, we always welcome them. If you have any questions for Chuck that I may not think of and you want to weigh in or just a comment, we certainly welcome them. The disclaimer is if Chuck reserves the right not to answer, then he won't answer.
I'll tell you anything you want to know about Charles.
Oh, there we go. There we go. There we go. So you and I met through camps. Will you talk about some of the stuff you did with the teen camps? I mean, you and Kathy did that for many years, and you kind of took the teens under your wing. Talk about that for a little bit, teen camps.
Yeah. Well, we first, we were members of Tacoma Science of Mind and Tacoma, Washington, and our daughters, who were just entering their teenage years, heard about Camp Cascade down in Oregon, and went down to Kathy and our oldest daughter went down to Camp Cascade and had a wonderful experience. And that's where it came back to me, all the stories about these two teens, these young men and general hellions that were down there. Everybody loved them, but if there was anybody that was going to sneak out at night to go to the girls' cabins, or they're going to get in some sort of mischief, it was Charles and Jacob.
I think you're talking about a different Charles.
Oh yeah, you think, huh? It wasn't long after that they were looking for somebody to run the regional teen program, which was Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Alaska. And my wife Kathy and I took that on and led 3 camps a year for, I don't know how, 4 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I don't know what it was, but
4 or 5 years, yeah.
We were starting that. Charles and Jacob both were making their transition from being teens to being teen leaders, and that's where we became fast friends and really joined forces, because Charles was so passionate and able to connect with the teens. And
Chuck, where'd you go, pal? Jeff, is there anything we can do? Oh, there you are.
And it was, we certainly wanted to jump into, some things that would really, really touch the teens and be able to connect them. A lot of them would show up going, I don't know why I'm here. I don't really want to be here. And then we would do the sharing. We would have some very powerful sharing. We do angel walks. We do various activities, trust walks, and they would just, by the end of the 3 or 4 days, they didn't want to leave. And we had a lot of fun. We did talent show. We did Chubby Bunny. We did, there was a lot of singing. So, yeah.
So speaking of that, let's get to some of the pictures, shall we? I think we have art. Yeah. Do we have art? Jeff, let's see. Well, just walk us through some of these pictures, Chuck, and tell us, just narrate these, will you?
Okay, I will.
Let's see. Jeff is going to bring them up here. Here we go. Oh, there's Chubby Bunny right there.
This is Chubby Bunny. This is our dear friend Reed is on the right-hand side, and then Charles, my daughter's on the left. She's handing out marshmallows. We got a big trash bag. Well, what it is that you have this competition. You get people lined up, and everybody puts a marshmallow in their mouth. And then you have to be able to say Chubby Bunny so that people can understand it. And you do 1, you do 2, you do 3. And when you get up around 8 or 10, most of us are really, it's all we can do to mumble Chubby Bunny without spewing marshmallows. But holy mackerel, Reed, I swear he put 20 marshmallows in his mouth. And you can see Charles's look, it's like he's looking straight ahead, and then Reed just smugly puts another, must have been the 18th or 19th marshmallow in his mouth, and he goes, "Chubby bunny," and Charles' head just whips over to the side. You can see him looking, and it's a really fun competition, something the kids really liked.
Love it. That and Reed was absolutely for our walks of intention. And Jamie Lula talked about Reed a few weeks ago when I had him on the show as well. Reed was quite formative in my life, big time. And he's one of your best friends, Chuck. I know that.
Yes.
He lives down in the Atlanta area, right?
He lives in Atlanta. Yeah, he
Atlanta.
does.
And he was so instrumental in the lives of so many teens. I love that guy. And look at the joy on Heather's face there. That's great.
Yeah.
All right, what else do we have? What else do we have, Chuck? We got. What's this?
This is Charles and Jacob, the two hellions I was telling you about, and in the talent show, they were well known for being into hip hop together, and so this is their contribution to the talent show. Just about every talent show we had, in addition to doing other crazy things, they would do hip hop.
Yeah, we sure will. Is that on Vashon, Chuck? Vashon Island, or is that down?
Yes, it is. This is on Vashon Island at Camp South.
Camp South, okay. Because we did a few camps down in Oregon too, on the coast, right near the coast.
Well, we did them down in Long Beach in Washington.
Oh, Long Beach. Oh, that
coast.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, it felt like the Oregon coast, because one time I was driving the van full of group of teens, and we got caught in a 5-hour backup from traffic.
wow.
Remember, you were concerned, like, oh my God, what happened?
That was a long drive down there.
It's a long drive. All right, what else do we have, Jeff?
Yeah, this is some of the main folks. There's of course, Reed in the middle, Jacob, number 84. He's on the right-hand side. You can see Charles on the top right.
Look how brown my hair was back then, Chuck.
I know.
What happened?
Isn't that amazing? Mine too. I'm on the back. Between
Seriously?
Jacob and Charles is my wife, Kathy.
Yeah.
And
Jesse?
yeah, so just these are some folks that they were there at almost every camp. Some from Oregon, some from Washington, and we just became real good friends and shared the love.
Yep, shared the love. What else do we have here?
This is the talent show. This is
hold on. Okay, time out real quick. This is nobody take a screen. This is Do A Donate, isn't it?
This is Do A Donate. Yes. My wife Kathy on the right and Charles on the left.
Oh,
and they did this multiple times. This is one of their contributions to the talent show, is they'd get these ribbons on sticks and they'd dress up. Charles was letting his inner spirit out, and they would just go wild dancing and doing the ribbon dance, and we'd called it Do A Donate.
Do A Donate. Kathy came up with that name, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, she did. I asked her. She doesn't really know where the name came from, but it's one of our fun memories.
Oh, sweet Lord in heaven. That's me and Kathy. And we had so much. Oh my good. Jeff, are we, let's see. What are we going to do with this picture? Not save it, not archive it, right? Can we delete this part of the presentation?
Just anybody ever
I've already made copies and sent it to everyone that's live with us today.
That's your reverend, folks. I'm sure that's not the craziest thing you've seen, but anyway, I'm a fully expressed human being as well.
It appears to have a message coming in now. As soon as we're back open, it looks like we're going to have a talent contest, and you'll have to reenact.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, Chuck, you got to be the other donate then. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. What else do we have? Oh, there. Yeah.
There's the babe right there. There's Charles, and that's just he was so passionate, leading prayers, connecting with teens, and that was one of my favorite pictures.
Thanks, big dog. What else do we have? Oh yeah.
We are.
vest. I love that vest.
Yeah. Yeah. Still got it.
Where were we here, Chuck? Where was this?
Oh man. I don't know where we were for
Don't
that
remember.
picture.
All right. Well, let's see what else we have. Well, there's a chandelier up there. Oh, here we go.
Another talent show. Me and Jacob and you, and I don't know who the fourth.
Does that mean you were hip hopping with us? What were you doing up
I
there
was
with
doing something with you.
What
We
were
were
we doing?
doing something, which,
You had the mullet going back then, didn't you?
oh, I big time mullet. Yeah.
Look at the mullet. Chuck P with the mullet. I love it.
Yeah, they couldn't, they couldn't figure out what to make of me at the state auditor's office. I've got the mullet, I firewalk, and yet I'm a CPA that's out auditing people. They couldn't quite figure it out.
It's called being a full, well-rounded human being.
That's right.
It's not a compartmentalized human being, a full human being.
Yeah.
I love it. Wow, look at these. I love seeing these. Oh, this is, yep. Talk us through this, Chuck.
Well, this is where we got, in fact, we can flip through a few of these, but this is how we started our firewalks. We would gather, we'd have a meal, but at the very beginning of the evening, we would take about a half a cord of wood and we would start this raging fire. And then we'd go in the house and we'd start processing, because it took about 3 or 4 hours of connecting and working through different trust and courage projects for us to get to the point where people even would entertain the idea that they were going to walk across coals. So
I remember that part, Chuck, too, and that I remember having a lot of fear about walking on fire, and but that three hours or so that we spent in the living room with the farm made all the difference in the world. I think everybody, when they came out there, moved through that and felt confident. Just the process of what we did to build trust and to understand that we were there together and to actually become one with the elements of fire.
Yeah. Yeah, and part of the process is to become truthful to yourself. It's not that you were getting to the point where you decided to walk through the fear and walk across the fire. It's facing the fear and then deciding what's the message in this for me. Do I walk? Do I not walk? So we celebrated everybody. But at the beginning of the evening, very few people planned on walking. And at the end, out of 30 or 40 people, we may have one person or two people that decided that they weren't going to walk. And we celebrated that because they really went beyond the fear and welcomed that. So next photo. So here's what we ended up with at the end then, was we ended up with a pile of coals. We had these really long rakes because just raking this out, we'd end up with first degree burns if we got too close to the fire. So next one.
We've got a couple. Oh, there's you and Reed walking.
There's Reed and I walking across the coals. Yeah. And we, on any walk, I mean, of course we had 30 firewalks, but he and I were walking with people. So we'd end up walking 5 or 10 times during a firewalk.
Yep.
And there I am walking across we'd always put the burning logs over to the side, the ones that hadn't quite burned up yet. And so we walked across those.
I remember one guy, Chuck. Oh, there's Krista and I. Look
Charles
at
and Krista doing their walk.
I look peaceful, Krista. Oh, there's the aftermath. I was going to say, I look peaceful, Krista.
She's pretty focused.
She's very focused. That's right.
Like, let's get off of this fire.
Can we do that? Walk faster, Charles. Walk faster.
Yes,
Krista,
exactly.
my girlfriend back in my very early 20s. Yep. Great picture. Cool. Yep.
Yeah.
What else do we have? Any more pictures, Jeff? Or is that it?
That might be it.
Oh, cool. Well, that's I definitely am exposed now if I wasn't before.
Yeah.
Let's talk Cambodia for a few minutes.
Yeah.
We had the absolute blessing of going to Cambodia for 2 weeks together. When was that? 2013?
Yeah, I think so.
2013. You ate a tarantula. Tell us how that was. You ate an entire tarantula.
I'm glad I did it. I don't think I'll ever do it again. You know, when we were on this long bus trip going down to the south, and we stopped at this market, and they had everything in the world you can imagine, fruit and vegetables and dried bugs, piles and piles of dried bugs. But they had this basket that was filled with live tarantulas, and then they would take them and they would smoke them or stir fry them, or I don't know, whatever they did. But you ended up with these little crisp, not so little spiders.
Not little.
And, yeah, and so we tried one, and a lot of people wouldn't touch them, and you did eat some legs, and
I ate some leg.
I was determined that I was going to eat a tarantula. And,
You did. I ate legs. You ate the entire thing, and there was I'm not sure people want to hear this. Forgive it, but this is good entertainment. There was an interesting custard like soft mushroom.
Yeah,
like
I don't want to hear that either.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't do it again. I may eat it. Oh.
But that was a great trip. We and I think I talked about it a couple weeks ago in one of my Life on Loves a couple Fridays ago. But we did some good work over there. Remember what we did with the schools in Surin, and what was your experience with that? How did that feel in your heart, and just your experience of being in Cambodia and the whole thing, Angkor Wat, all of that?
You know, being able to help the kids, and I still look regularly at the pictures of the kids, and that are out there, and they're the schools they go to aren't they don't have computers, they don't have a lot of things that they need, and to be able to go over there and, number one, put the wells we put in, that in some instances it would allow kids to leave the house and go to school, because they had a well in their community then, and they could raise their food, and they wouldn't have to go carry water. That was pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And then to be able to build classrooms and buy them computers and books, and it was really powerful. And so I had some great experiences doing that, and so it was fun. And just being able to travel with the spiritual community, be able to travel with you was really powerful. And yeah, good experience.
That was an awesome couple of weeks. And you've done some other, have you been back? You went back, right?
I went back several years later, and we built a library / computer room for them, and actually got them internet access while we were there, so that the kids would still go to public school, but they wouldn't have access to computers or English. But if they went to public school in the morning, then they'd come to our school in the afternoon and have instruction on computers and sewing and English as a second language, because a lot of the industries and a lot of the businesses over there in Siem Reap and Phnom Penh, they spoke English, and so they actually, it gave them skills that they were going to need to be able to get out of the little villages if they chose.
Yep, love it, absolutely. When you look back at your life, I mean, at this point, just reflecting, you had a long career with the state government, but you're also, if you want to call it a seeker, or someone who's always been interested in what the behind the scenes, the spirit of things. How's that walk been to be, like you said, here's this government worker who does fire walks, leads camps, all that kind of stuff. When you think back to Chuck File, the early years growing through until where you are now, did you always feel integrated? Was it a process? What can you say about that?
I think that was part of my journey, is to learn how to not be separate people. And, in the later years in my work, they referred to me as their spiritual guide at work. that I was sort of a touchstone, and part of that was just being able to be authentic enough to be integrated and to be who I was. Whereas I think in my earlier years, I wasn't. It was really easy for me to compartmentalize or separate that. That's been part of my journey and I, for a long time, and I'll share this briefly. When we were doing study groups and I was doing men's groups for a long time, it's like, well, what should I be doing? What is my path? Should I like move to Detroit and work in the inner city? I really was struggling with that. And I finally decided that it didn't really matter. I could push a broom in a building, or I could be an auditor, or I could be anything, but it was how I showed up in that. And can I show up and really be authentic and be loving and be compassionate and be fully myself? And that was what was important. And so it took me a long time to get to that, but that's really where I am now. So it's not so much what I do, but it's how I do it when I'm there.
Yeah. I know you and I have talked personally. We obviously share. Well, I don't think I have any secrets from you. But over the years we've talked about sometimes when we walk through the darkness, the dark night, the challenges in life. How do you navigate those nowadays? How do you when those things happen? How do you be with those? How do you find a place for those? And what's your process in kind of being with that? Because a lot of people right now are experiencing some darkness, isolation, those types of things. With the wisdom that you've gleaned and knowing that we're still human beings, and I've shared openly with my community. I was in a 3.5 year, more than a slump. It was dark. I was in a really dark place, and I know you've experienced some of that too. What's your process with that? And what do you offer folks as far as what you've come to understand about that process?
Boy, I could go on for a while, probably. Certainly it takes me, when I am in that, you develop habits that become reminders. And so I may be in the middle of something, and it certainly brings up the immediate reminder to move into some prayer. And so I will do that. And I was actually thinking today, as I was treating a little bit, the most powerful prayer for me in my career, and one that I use when I'm in a tough place, is a serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the power to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Because what I find is when I'm usually the most out of sorts is because of something that's happening outside of me, and I don't have the power to change it. And so how am I going to embrace that situation? But the other thing for me, and I think it comes out of my work in men's groups, is the power of friends, having friends, not necessarily my primary partner, but having individuals that I can stay in touch with, and I can just talk. It is so powerful just to say the words, get them out of your chest, get them out of your head, and be able to say, hey, here's how I'm feeling. And to me, that's an extremely powerful tool. Someone else doesn't have to say anything. I just need to be able to formulate those feelings enough to get them out of my mouth. And then, of course, gratitude. Really take some time to, rather than gratitude and service, rather than being in my own little pity space, is to be able to take a moment and inventory, the things that I'm grateful for, and be able to help others in the midst of it. Those things just cause immediate shift.
Yeah, that's great. do you find that it's challenging? Forgive me, folks. I've obviously I'm hacking a lot right now, but I'm in good shape. Do you find it challenging that the last point you made to help others? Is that challenging when you're feeling the darkness, or is that actually something you effort to do because it helps you pull you out of it?
Yeah, it takes my mind off of myself.
Yeah.
And I can become more expansive in that. I'm really expanding outside of myself, and yeah, it can be very helpful. It can be a hard thing to do.
Yep.
And sometimes you need somebody who's willing to grab you. I've got a couple of friends that if I don't hear from them in a week or two, I call them and I pester them and go, "What are you up to, Mark? What's this?" And I really draw them out, because it's so easy for us when we're in a tough space to isolate.
Yep.
And you and I have both done that for each other as well.
Yep.
And it's just something that it's powerful to have a friend that will seek you out and make sure that you have someone to share with.
Yep. Muy importante. So
Yeah.
you are I'm gonna pivot here. You're 6'4", 230?
Yeah, shrinking a little bit, but I'd say 6'3.5", 230. Yeah,
Okay.
235.
Okay. So in over all the years wrestling matches, how many have I won?
Oh, that would be a big zero.
How many in my mind have I won?
Yeah, that's hard to count. That's probably countless. Over the years, the one part of Charles and I have had a really deep spiritual connection and love connection, but we've always had a lot of play in our relationship. And back in camp, the activities, playing hearts and being competitive in cards, playing basketball, and
Yep.
funny basketball experiences, playing basketball, but playing golf. And how many times have I beat you in golf? That would probably be a zero.
Was it maybe one?
I think that's a zero.
When you driver going, you're scary.
But yeah, the one part of the competition with both Jacob and Charles is they're going to beat this old man in wrestling, and knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet. And I can't say it's been a lot of years. It's been just a couple of years since Charles has tried it, and it's fun to be able to still play like that.
I'm waiting till your bones actually just crumble when I can just jump on top of you. And
yeah,
I think we've got a bunch of comments here, Chuck. I'm just going to see what's going on. Hang tight for a second.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on here. I'm supposed okay. We've got Sun God 1 is in New York. Helly Nadler's in New York. Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. Whomever is in Los, I am loving you. Amen. Was this before Tony Robbins? What are you referring to? Can you come back around with that? Calm Specimen says, I also find being able to speak your truth and having it truly listened to by another is powerful. Mm-hmm. Amen. Oh, yeah. Firewalking. Is firewalking before Tony Robbins? You were firewalking, what? This is 30, 35, 40 years ago, right? I mean, how long?
It was in the mid 90s. I had not heard of Tony Robbins yet, I don't think, but it certainly came about. He was doing firewalks, but we were well into it before we heard about Tony Robbins. Reed had been into it, and we had some friends in Seattle that had done some of that. But
yeah, the stuff we did at the farm was powerful. I know that I was too busy partying for it, but you guys did a firewalk every New Year's Eve for sure, right?
Yeah, there were a couple of years where we did them almost every month, except during high fire season.
Yeah.
But we did one every New Year's Eve, and then every month we would do a sweat, which the sweats were pretty powerful. You go, we built a sweat lodge, and we would go in there, and
Yep.
We had some powerful experiences.
Yeah, you guys were I don't know if it was cutting edge, but it was you guys were doing it though. I mean, what the community that you created at the farm was powerful, really powerful.
Yeah.
Between the sweats, that's right. By the way, I'm curious. So when whoever came in and bought the farm, did they bought the farm? Bought the farm. Whoever came in and bought the farm, did they wonder like, wow, who lived here before with the stuff that was, the sweat lodge you built out? And
I'm sure they did. We did not meet the people that bought it. They sold it a couple of years after they bought it from us.
Okay.
And the sweat lodge was there for quite some time because we made it out of, we split cedar posts and made it out of cedar. I'm not sure, trees have grown up. I'm not sure if it's still there.
Do you drive by there very much?
Yeah,
Ever?
a couple times a year.
Yeah. Do you slow down and kind of take it in?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just it's a very special piece of property.
Yep. I do that with my childhood home that I grew up in. Every once in a while, slow down, drive by, back in Seattle. Actually, I come to a complete stop. I kind of just for maybe 30, 45 seconds, look at it, take a couple deep breaths, remember some things, and then move on. But it's I don't know, sometimes that can feel like a powerful exercise for the good memories.
Yeah. I agree.
There were a couple horses there. What were the name of the horses that were on the farm?
The two older ones that we started with were Dusty and Penny. And Dusty was, they were both about 20 years old, and just really fun to have with the kids.
Yep. Dusty and Penny.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour. It goes by fast when we're having fun. What else do you want to say to the community? Anything? A couple last words?
Before you
buy the farm?
Yeah, before I buy the farm. Charles and I, a couple of things that continues to be powerful is to have some personal retreats together, to go out and spend a few nights, like out on Hood Canal. Very grateful to be able to introduce you to mushroom hunting. I go out and hunt wild mushrooms, and that was a fun experience. I would like to say that, I was reflecting a lot as you'd really done some exploring and trying to make some changes in your life and know what direction you were going. And at the time I was reflecting on that, and I'd like to let you know, Charles, that there are some things I really admire about you. I admire the passion that you have in life, how you express yourself, and you're willing to put yourself out there and express yourself to people, but also then that you really listen to your heart and you're willing to dive into the darkness. That's something that I find can be hard to do. And you have walked that path and been willing to ask the tough questions, even though you don't necessarily want to. And then you're willing to, once you've done that, you're willing to follow the guidance, even when it means major changes in your life. And you've gone through some major changes where you've done soul searching. We've talked about it. And then you've been willing to embrace that and make changes. And I have tremendous admiration for you and your willingness to listen to your heart. And then lastly, your commitment to family. I really admire the commitment you have to your family and to your friends. Thank goodness. And so my life is, there are a handful of people that I say have really brought riches into my life and beyond my family, and you're certainly one of them. And I just consider myself really wealthy in the richness of family and friends.
Me too, man. Big big time. I can't imagine my life without you in it. You know, that's just the way it is. And whatever you want to, Providence brought us together, and you know, I can't imagine, you know, we only get one biological dad, but you being who you are in my life, I can't imagine all the things that I've learned from you, and how you've guided me and loved me and had patience with me. I can't imagine what it would be like without you. And I love you a lot, and I'm really grateful for you coming on and having so much fun with the community today.
It's been fun. It's been fun. We'll
fun.
continue to walk this path together.
Yeah, totally. And by the way, Chuck, I call him Handy Chuck. Chuck can fix anything. Like Jeff can do anything with technology. Chuck can do anything with he can go build you a deck tomorrow morning. Okay. He can fix your plumbing. He'll build you a new bathroom. Chuck can do anything when it comes to his hands and his creativity. I've always been impressed by that, because I don't, what are you delivering to me, Lovebird? Okay, thank you. Schoolwork's been delivered. You know, when you don't have a particular skill or you haven't nurtured it or whatever, Chuck can build anything. You really can. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. I'm going to do a couple of announcements, and then we're going to sign off. Okay. Just hang tight,
Okay.
hang tight for a minute.
Yep.
Cool. Let's see. Today's Friday. Happy Friday, gang. I hope you've enjoyed the show. As you can see, I love that guy with all my heart, and I'm extraordinarily blessed with amazing people in my life. And I hope that the idea of Life on Love on Fridays continues to give you some broader and specific insight into my life, and who has formed me, and what I'm grateful for. And I appreciate you hanging out with me on Fridays for this. I'm starting to feel a little bit more emotional, so I'm going to kind of start to wrap this thing up. Tomorrow we've got our meditation, 10 a.m. will be available to you. Look for that in your email inbox. If you aren't part of our email community, e-community, please send an email to info@cslpalmdesert.org, or just go to the website, cslpalmdesert.org, and there'll be a form there where you can get involved with our e-community and all the announcements that we have and everything that we're sending out to you. By the way, I've got a new piece of jewelry. This is the only piece of jewelry I wear, and I just started wearing it last night. It's from my daughter, and she made it for me. I love it. Other than that, I don't wear any jewelry. I do have my ear pierced, though. My ear is pierced. I just don't wear an earring. That's another story. I'm going to tell you right now real quick, though. I did it between the summers of 7th and 8th grade. I came to school in 8th grade in the fall. I pierced my own ear. I tried to numb it with an ice cube, and then I pierced it with a non-pointy stud. It was gruesome. Anyway, another time. Sunday service is coming. And then next week on Monday, I'm interviewing another one of our ministerial graduates, Dr. Brad, you're going to love that, Reverend Brad Wentker. I'll interview him on Monday to get to know him. Tuesday, we continue with chapter 5 with Jafon Seeley of the book, How to Become an Anti-Racist. Wednesday, Sensational 6. Thursday, I'm with Reverend Lori Savage. One of these days, I'll be with her. You want me to interview you for an entire hour? Will you talk about yourself? Okay, say something about yourself right now.
I like unicorns.
She likes unicorns. That's a good start. Boom. All right, we can build on that. And then Friday, another episode of Life on Love. I'm going to come up with somebody else to talk about my life. And again, the whole exercise is for us to get to know each other. That's what I'm committed to. I want you to know me as your associate minister, and as the person in line to assume the responsibilities of this community when Dr. Joe retires. We want to continue to hold Dr. Joe in the highest while he's on his sabbatical, wherever he is with his family. let's just know he's having fun, being restored, rested, and having the time of his life. Dr. Joe, if you're watching, if you get to the end of this show, we love you. Let's see. And then we'll keep on rolling. Much love. Chuck, thank you so much, my man. I really appreciate you being here and being who you are in my life. And are you still there, Val?
I am.
There you are. I can hear you.
I love you.
All right. I love you very much. Take care of the family. Say hi to Kathy and the girls and all the kids. And it's all good. Anything else you want to say?
Not me.
Not you. All right.
No.
Community, continue to make it.
Much love.
Much love. We'll see you soon.